Hello friends, it's been time that many of you have read the book of Freeing Your Inner Self-Awareness. Now this is one book that have been launched which was unedited, which was raw. Many readers had always suggested to get a raw book to figure out the core virtues that an author actually writes. In fact, this book is reviewed by Susan, and Susan is the founder, owner of Stopping at Nothing. She runs the Stopping at Nothing organization from US that works for privileged women. This is also reviewed by Himanshu Chakraborty that you can see out there. Himanshu is IIT Kanpur, I am Bangalore, and subsequently he have been in the helm of positions in many of the large organizations. This book also have a very powerful foreword which is written by Ed Parr. Ed is a global author, again based out of US for a long time, and now he and his wife is settled in Ottawa. So this book primarily what it actually tells is how you should actually take your movement of life and what could be your move in the life. Now this is a very simple book. It has 12 chapters. The first chapter starts by saying how you can actually stay peaceful, followed by how you can actually accept responsibilities, and so on and so forth. And the last chapter is how you should be grateful and how you should practice gratitude. Now this book was written almost I would say around 6-7 years ago, and this book was at times widely used in some of the colleges for their students. If any one of you want to understand more of the chapters of this book, I think they can always write up to me, and as what usually I do, I kind of reach out, or any of my team members reach out. These are beautiful chapters like how you can actually control your mind. Now I recommend you to read this book over and over again for 2 to 3 times, and the beauty of this book is that every chapter has 2 pages to write notes in the book itself, because sometimes typically what happens is when we read books we mark, right? Now when we mark, at times there are certain important points that connects with our life that we want to take a note on. So when we yearn to take a note on, either you're traveling or in a flight or somewhere else that you're reading the book, either you have to take out your notepad or you have to take out your phone and you have to kind of scribble it up. But if you kind of have a page like this where it says notes, so what typically happens is that you can also take a note side by side when you are reading the book. Now that makes it very useful for a reader who wants to stay updated, stay connected, and also they want to correlate the learnings of the book into their life. Now that's where it becomes more and more handy. Now if you go through the chapters, you'll find that there are chapters like how you can unlock your mind. And what typically we have done is that when I was writing this book, I still recollect that it was a huge voluminous book, but in those days, of course, I would say in 6-7 years ago, the usage of reading books from mobiles or Kindle was not so much prevalent as what it is today. It was there, but it was not so much prevalent as what it is today. So I had readers who wanted to get a slimmest self-help book, and I presume that this should be one of the slimmest self-help book that we have with us. Now the intent was that each chapter, if it was holding a 50 to 60 pages, how I can filter out the best juice of that 50 to 60 pages of each chapter to kind of 1 page. Now that is a lot of work that needs one to ensure that you take out the best of things in the crispest way, so that the readers can actually understand the essence of the book. But at the same point of time, they should get the total details of how they can actually improve themselves. This is more for people who don't love voluminous books. This is more for people who don't love fat books. This is for people who prefer more slimmer books, but to get the best juice out of it. It also have great chapters like how you can overcome ignorance. Now, I believe that if you are really not knowledgeable, then all the rat starts. If you do not hold the sense of knowledge within yourself, then typically what happens is that you are ignorant. You feel that, hey, I know everything, but the person in front of you clearly gauges and understands you, and they know that, hey, he's moment he opens his mouth, it will be all scrap. There is where it is so much important to take your time to become knowledgeable. And this is even what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam have told in his autobiography of Wings of Fire, where he have mentioned the power of knowledge. If you are really ignorant, you will see that the person in front of you will definitely understand that it's a complete hollow shell inside. Now, whether he tells you or not, it's up to him. It's up to his gratefulness. It's up to his sanskar. But how you can actually overcome ignorance. So, chapter 7 actually tells us how to overcome ignorance. It has a beautiful chapter called Learn to Live in the Present Moment. Now, many of us who are thought by a lot of things that is going around us. And when we are thought by a lot of things going around us, typically what happens is that we lose our inner peace. Now, one of the ways to address this is how you can live in the present moment. If you know how to live in the present moment, then the past should not bother you so much, and the future of what would happen should not bother you so much. If someone can really learn to master this, how to live in the present moment, he or she would be in a sense of bliss, and that will give a sense of fulfillment of life. So it's a beautiful chapter. Again, the best of things are there. Chapter 9 talks about how you should be completely aware about yourself. Now, if you are not aware about who you are, if you are not aware about yourself, then how can you actually get to the surroundings? So I'll read out a paragraph from it which says, the important practices of conscious awareness allows you to know in each moment that there is you and your thinking along with you and your emotions, and all the present at the same time. So actually these are all present at the same time. This knowledge brings choice. Now, when you have the right choice to choose what you have to do, there is where you build yourself. You may have a section of food in front of you, but you need to choose what you will eat. Similarly, if you have a section of people around you, you need to understand that who are those people whose words, whose statements, etc., you'll give more importance, and for others whom you'll not give importance. Now, there is where you actually build a great ecosystem. Awaken to yourself as much and as frequently as possible. Now, this is so important that if you don't awaken yourself as frequently as possible, it needs to be a continuous process. Break into your own thinking with your awareness of it. Break thoughts as much as possible in a day and keep going. So you need to break your thoughts and understand that which are those thoughts that are depleting your energy and which are those thoughts that are enhancing your energy. You will also find that there will be some people who are like energy suckers for you, and there are some people who are like energy givers for you. So try to understand that ecosystem, that people who actually suck out energy, people who give energy. Now, the beauty is that when you are running the body, you cannot eradicate all the energy suckers for various reasons, because maybe they may be part of your family, part of your organization, part of your society, whom you cannot throw away. So there is where you need to understand that how to also demarcate a bridge without straight up breaking it off, so that the energy suckers actually do not suck so much amount of energy from you, or do not torment you, do not create distress in your mind. So there is where you need to control that part. Watch how this powerful practice establishes a new order in your life, free from all conflict and confession. And once you start doing this, you'll actually see that these are like practice that comes to you. And once you start doing this practice, you will understand that these are making you more and more happier. These are making you more and more happier. So it is a very, very beautiful thing as to how you can actually become aware. It also has a beautiful chapter 10 which says how to unlock your mind and make it free. Now, this is an exercise how you can actually unlock your mind. So I'll read out one of the paragraphs from here. There may come a flash of insight, a clear glimpse into some self-created cause of your own continuing inner captivity, or perhaps a sudden and sweet sense of wholeness will sweep through you, a quiet and profound intuition. Then for the moment you will be one with all of the life pulsating around you. So what I meant is that typically if you see that when people are speaking to you, do not go only by the words. I have always suggested them, try to also understand the vibrations. Now, do not get bogged down by only the sweet words that people may talk to you. Because typically what would happen is that the person in front of you may speak whatever, but their intent for you may or may not be good. Now, how will you understand that is when you can understand the vibration of the person from there. It's everything equal to mc square. Now, how will you understand the vibration if your vibration is not calm? So your vibration have to be calm enough to understand the vibration of the person in front of you. There is where you will understand, and actually you can navigate your life, because you have to live with people. You have come in this world and each one of us play a role of ourselves. So you have to live with people. So you have to navigate your life in the right way, but you have to understand that vibration. That is how you can actually make the mind much more free, by unlocking it. It also has a beautiful chapter called Control Your Mind, where I think all of us know that how important it is to ensure that your mind and body are well in sync and you can control. Now it says, why let outside influences control your mind and life? Why let other people's thought control your life and mind? Do you want to make your mind free, or do you prefer to enslave it to other people's thought? If you leave your mind open to every thought that passes by you, you put your life in other people's hand, and without realizing it, you accept their thoughts and act in accordance. So I suggest that you be aware of your thoughts. When you're aware, you are mentally strong enough to fight off the thoughts you don't want. The more aware you are, the quicker you grab hold of your mind and take back the control. Present moment consciousness, you need to always pull back the wandering monkeys, and the last point is it's your choice. Now, it's so important for all of us to have a strong mind, so that we can actually dissect the mind and have a very strong control over the thoughts. Now, if you do not do that part, then typically what happens is that you are giving your remote control to someone else. Everyone at times gets succumbed. I too get succumbed. Definitely, maybe 10 years ago I used to get succumbed more, but today I get succumbed less. It's because I try to analyze, but it's not 100% yet. There are many times when I get succumbed to rubbish people around me, to people who are negative around me, to people who are of a lower vibrations, etc. So there is where I think it plays a very strong role. So accordingly, if you really go through all the pieces well, definitely, as what I was saying, the last one says how you should be grateful and how you can practice gratitude. It's so powerful. So that's the chapter 12 of it, which actually says how you should be truly grateful and what is the power of gratitude. Now, all these things actually boils down to the sense of love that you should actually allow to flow all around. If you percolate that sense of gratitude, that sense of love, you will see that your life will be different. Now, don't worry, I think all of us get succumbed at times to the level of ordinary. The art is quickly to identify that and to come back into a sense of extraordinary. And that's what actually will help all of us to have a beautiful life ahead. Thank you. Sujit Paul signing off.